onto YouTube. But take us to that time. You mentioned that you were reaching out to well-known organizations.
Yeah.
What gave you the confidence to do that, and how did you actually do that? I mean, was it as simple as sending an email and saying, hey, we've worked at this agency and we can help you be more innovative in this new kind of digital world? Or just walk us through, like, what was going on? What were you actually doing to get in front of those people?
There was a bit of that. Obviously, we had a lot of chutzpah, so that's something that is clear. And we didn't have much to lose, and we didn't have much to think about. So we didn't have a mortgage, didn't have kids. So that opened up a potential for, let's just give it a go, right? So there was nothing to lose. That's a big thing to think about. We definitely hammered on a lot of doors and mostly got no's, which is the general rule anyway, still is. Learned a lot about things, for example, timing, particularly with innovation. Companies, if they're not ready, they're not ready. You can't make them ready, right? So you can encourage and tell and whatever. But the actual big win that happened, our first big win was came from loitering around in LA at the E3 video game show. And my business partner and I at the time had done the brand strategy and launching of PlayStation 2. So we went over to Microsoft and said, hey, you guys have no idea what you're doing. We do. And I think they probably just paid us to not go anywhere else. And at the time, I don't think I kid myself that we were, some kind of genii, but it was a good, lucky moment of lucky timing and a lot of hard work and chutzpah. And I remember just hanging outside their store, waiting for the main guy to show up. And we buttonholed him, and then we were actually quite good. And then they got us in for the global version of that.
Let me just stop you for a second there, Nick. I mean, did you literally walk up and say, listen, guys, you have no idea what you're doing and we can help you? Or was it a little bit more?
Obviously not like that. We basically said, look, we just launched PlayStation 2 in Europe.
Yeah.
We've spent 2 years doing market research on the future of this industry. You don't want to do a PlayStation. You can't do a PlayStation. You can't out PlayStation. So you got to find something else. We'd love to work with you. I have to say, as always, really, one of the great learnings I've always had is relentless enthusiasm and passion for what you do is often a huge part of the win.
What does that mean? Like, make that very tangible. So for somebody listening or watching right now, lucky my video's back on. What does that really mean? Like, how can someone bring that into their world? What action could they take, or what mindsets should they adopt to benefit from that statement you just made around?
Well, the first thing is you can't fake it. So if you're in a consulting space where you don't feel a huge amount of enthusiasm for the actual thing that you consult on and the kind of industries and companies that you work with, then you can't click this switch. It has to be, the client has to feel that you genuinely are so excited to work with them. And that there's a gratitude there. You're not kowtowing on the floor, but you're going, we would just love to work with you. I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know what project it is, but we're here. At the same time, you can't be needy. So you've got to find this place of, we're super excited. You give us a call and we'll be there. We're on the phone ready for you. And that's from an ad agency background, right? Which is a really useful way of coming into this space, because you're just always there, ready to please. We'll do whatever it takes, without being, if we don't get you, I'm going to shoot myself, or our business is bankrupt. And that's still something I take with me. But there's a deeper nuance to this, which is seeing something that this company or brand or business or organization could be, that they can't fully see themselves, and sort of being in that space when you talk to them, and then trying to give them an idea of how possible, what possibility could be like for them, given that they're up against pressure, KPIs, relentless planning cycles, 3,000 emails a day, I don't know, whatever the reality is for a mid to senior level manager in a global, 500 company. So that's a part of it. That's not all of it. That's part of it is enthusiasm. Part of it is opening up what we call innovation possibility spaces that they feel when you're around. So part of that's what you say, but part of that's how you are. And this works better, by the way, if you're in, let's say, the more creative elements of consulting, but it still works in pretty much any area, is enthusiasm and then relentlessness. Like, you have to be able to email someone 7, 10, 15 times, maybe over, 2-3 years, and see people come off your mailing list and ask you, quite rude ways to get off you're about to go through all that stuff and still just brush it off and still be just as enthusiastic as you were the first day you started. And that's really important. And there's a whole deeper part of that, which is how do you stay that resilient and that positive, given that I'm now 26 years into this career, 23 years into this career, and I'm still getting more no's than I get yeses. I'm still getting quite rude, sort of, ignoring me,
So what do you do when that happens? Because I think